Welcome everybody to a new episode of Talk Too Late. My name is Game Too Late. I am joined as usual by HeadacheMik.
Hi guys, my name is Mick.
And you can surely recognize down there is Prosil.
Yeah, it's Prosil.
So today is, it's a bit of a difficult period, but we're really committed. Even though our spirits are not so high, we really just want to take off our mind from all the fucking bullshit that is going out there. Excuse my French for once. And we're only going to talk about games. And we're going to do so with our usual format of looking back at games that were released 2 years ago. So we're looking at March 2018, when everything was quiet and peaceful and we were all free to go wherever we would have liked to. And this is
Remember that?
Yeah, it was amazing. And God knows how we were going to be looking back 2 years from now to this period. But 2 years from now, actually, probably gaming-wise, is not too bad this period. But let's travel back in time to March 2018. And we open up our calendar by highlighting a period of 2 weeks here that doesn't really offer a lot of new titles. As usual, as per previous months, a lot of remasters and ports from the previous generation of console to this generation of console. The first of which is Burnout Paradise Remastered. This is Burnout Paradise Remastered. I played the one on PS3, obviously, Burnout Paradise. And the reason why I played Burnout Paradise is because I could redeem it from PlayStation Network for free. And that's because Sony gave the game for free. It was one of two choices that Sony gave all PlayStation Network users. You could pick one of two games, and I picked Burnout Paradise. And
I think it was more.
Happened. I don't remember.
Yeah,
but
you
anyway,
could pick like 3 out of 7.
Right.
I
right,
remember it was like Infamous, Dead Nation, Wipeout.
Oh, really? Ooh,
Wipeout HD. You had it. I was playing yours. Do you remember?
No, that was my game. I owned that. That was my PS3 game. Wipeout HD. It was not part of the free giveaway games that came out because of the mega PlayStation hacking. You guys remember that?
Yes.
PlayStation Network going offline for like 2 months. I think it was 2011. No, yeah.
2011.
Something like that. 2011. And it went down around January or something like that, and it stayed down until April or something ridiculous. There was no PlayStation Network for 3 months, and everybody, once PlayStation Network went back up online, everybody got this game on PlayStation 3 for free if they chose to, and elected to redeem this game for free. What I thought of the game was that it was a good game, and so here they are. Sometime later, Electronic Arts, of course, they came back and they tried to milk the cow a little bit more, and but it was still nonetheless a pretty good game, but not as good as Driver San Francisco, in my humble view. But anyway, a completely different kind of game, but still fun if you wanted to race around fast and crash cars. Did you guys play this?
Yeah, I played this. I played this for the first time on PS3, and then I think it came out on Steam also. I think later. I don't know if it came out on PC at the same time.
Yeah, I think a bit later. Wikipedia suggests it came out a year later.
Okay.
I think I played the game on PS2. I don't know why I remember I played Burnout.
Because there was, but it was not Burnout Paradise. I think it was called Burnout Takedown.
Takedown, yeah. I just googled that too because I was sure I played it on PS2 as well.
Yeah, the PS3 version, the PS3 title Burnout Paradise was not that far off from the PS2 game.
It had careers.
It had also a bigger world. It was kind of a bit of a sandbox.
Yeah, it was, and I didn't like that. I just like to crush stuff and explode vehicles. I was off when they introduced careers and it kind of became Need for Speed. You remember Need for Speed?
Mm-hmm.
It kind of became a little bit too much like that in my opinion, but it was fine too still.
Yeah. So Criterion game. I mean, another thing that I remember about this game is that I played Burnout Takedown. You guys played it on PS2. I played it on Xbox, and it looked really good because Xbox used to have better texture, generally speaking. So it was really, really sweet on Xbox, the first Xbox. And so the people that are part of Criterion Games, the developers, they actually split up later, and then they formed, like, the founding members created another company, and they are now making a sort of spiritual sequel to Burnout, and it's gonna be called something else. I don't remember. But the big company of Criterion is still part of Electronic Arts and doing, Star Wars stuff. That's all we have for Burnout, which was reviewed pretty nicely. And shall we have a look at this little comparison video? Why not? Let me just reminisce about the game. Yeah, 360 version. Xbox One, yeah, the usual improvements. It does look okay. Look okay.
I mean, I remember nobody really being too happy about it, but at the same time, it was still a fun game, So people were just excited to have it on the new console.
Cool. Let's move forward. Another game that came out. Again, another remaster is Assassin's Creed Rogue Remastered. Oof, a lot of R's and a lot of S's in this title. So Assassin's Creed Rogue there was always a game that I wanted to play and never did in the end. But I'm still really curious about this game and I should really go back and play it. Reasons for my interest is actually that I played Assassin's Creed Black Flag. That was pretty much the last Assassin's Creed I played.
Yeah, me too.
PS3, because I played it on PS4, early PS4, and I thought that Assassin's Creed Black Flag was actually okay.
It was okay, yeah.
In terms of game, but I didn't like the fact that it started, like all Assassin's Creed games at that point, I felt started to feel too much like a fucking Frankenstein, of gameplay. Like, you do this thing and then we attach this other engine, this other core that does these other things, and then this other thing, and so you would have the running around in little mission of killing people, and then you would have the navy parts and the sailing parts, and then you would have all these other things, and the game just kind of expanded, but it wasn't coherent, if you know what I mean. So
it was a mess. That's what you're saying. Yes.
Black Flag was a bit of a mess.
But it was fun. Probably the last fun Assassin's Creed.
It was fun. I played it, and then at some point I was like, because the story was not making any fucking sense anymore, I was like, you know what? I give up. I don't care. I just don't care. It was a good game, but I didn't care. But all those good reviews were actually topped up even further with Assassin's Creed Rogue, which reviewed very well when it came out. And so this is a worthy remaster, and maybe, just maybe, I could actually go back to it at some point. The scores are not really high, but, well, whatevers.
I don't know. I gifted this to my girlfriend when this was the this was the first game I've ever gifted to my girlfriend.
Are you guys still together?
Yes.
Good. Okay, then it's fine.
But I don't know what this game was about. Like I just gave it to her. Like, just play it. I want to have nothing to do with it.
Here, video game.
Yeah. Feed.
Cool. Prosil, did you play this one?
I would say, yeah. I played this, and it was my favorite Assassin's Creed after, I would say maybe it's ranked as fourth in the original saga. I played it, I think I played it after, which one is the one in France? Unity. And it's quite nice because it gives a close-up between the two. So I definitely, without spoilers, I think it's worth playing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the only one that moves from one saga to the other one, and I think it's a very underestimated game because it has all the fixes that other Assassin's Creed couldn't give, because they were kind of broken or new engine. Like the third one was amazing story wise, but the engine was broken, and you know the game itself was crashing. You could easily break it. whereas I think this one is very balanced, and the story is connected to the third somehow, and it's definitely worth playing. So
Cool.
yeah, I don't know if remastered if it's good, but probably they should have released this one separately as an Assassin's Creed, and not Unity, because Unity didn't make it to be flawless like this one.
Yeah, I think Unity was the very first one to be famous, to be broken, absolutely broken. Like it broke records in being famous like that.
Yeah, I think that Unity put the milestones in. Hey, let's not buy games on day one.
Hey, that might be a problem here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious.
French people, huh?
Xbox 360. It did look okay.
You know, I'm missing just a trophy to platinum this. Now that I think about it.
Oh wow, you could go back to it then.
I need to replay the whole story. I don't have time, but it's maybe if I will.
You don't really have much to do this 15 days, do you?
It's in Italy, the game, though.
Well.
It's gone.
Hey, this 2020 for me already started with 5 platinum, just so you know.
Shoot. So Prosil has already, by the 16th of March, garnered 4 platinum trophies on his, and moving really fast on his quest to obtain 100 platinums by the end of 2020.
How many did you do, game delayed?
This year?
Yeah, 2020.
0. But in 2019, I did 1 in 2019. Last year, I platinumed Yakuza 6.
Nice.
Which was my tribute to what is probably one of my favorite video game series of the last 10-20 years. Anyway, this is the game. Let's move forward to another little bit of our calendar from March 2018. Attack on Titan 2. If you guys followed the anime or the manga, just so you know that there is this video game about it, but frankly I didn't really pay a lot of attention. Oh, it's on Stadia. It's on Google Stadia, guys.
10 people have played it.
Yeah,
then.
that's amazing. I cannot wait to buy a controller and then buy a subscription to be able to play this on my mobile phone. Anyway, other games that came out was Sea of Thieves.
Oh, I can talk a lot about that.
Sea of Thieves.
Now I'm curious.
I'm going on.
I can talk hours about that.
Okay, good. Let's do that. I went on GameFAQs GameFAQs is this website where you can look at statistics.
It's a super old website.
It's super old.
One of the oldest websites in the world about gaming.
Yes. And I just went to check the statistic just to understand what the men in the streets would say. And they say that they have it, that the rating is about 3 out of 5, and that it's pretty easy, and it's about 50 hours long. And yeah, so long. I don't know if that's repetitive, but let's see what people say. Eurogamer has an article. I'm gonna drop in the articles already. Sea of Thieves is sandbox gaming at its purest. I don't really understand what the game is about, so I'm gonna have you guide us through the game while I show our viewers that are watching us on YouTube a little bit of the game. And if you're not on YouTube right now, you're probably listening to us through a podcast. Well, why don't you check out the video on our YouTube channel? Mick, what can you tell us? Or not. Just be like that crazy and don't do it. What can you tell us about this game?
I can tell you something about it. Yeah, I have played it, and when this game came out, by the way, it came out on PC and Xbox at the same time, basically.
Cool.
And this was one of the very first famous video game you could get for free if you get the Microsoft Pass, Xbox Pass. Because at that time you could get it on PC too. So like when this came out, a lot of people were like, "Just you don't need to spend $50. You can just have a free month of Xbox Pass or like whatever it was called on PC, Microsoft Pass, whatever, and just have the game for free forever, and then delete the subscription." Microsoft was okay. You had to click a little too many buttons to unsubscribe at the time. It was a little bit tricky, but I got it. I got it for $5, by the way, because I already had wasted my first free month.
Okay.
and I played it. I played it immediately because I was super hyped about it. It looked like Monkey Island on action, on comedy, pirates, friendships going on, and sailing to whatever, plunging stuff. And my experience with it was getting into a game and being locked into the brig for like half an hour every time, because like when you get into a game, people can vote, because if you misbehave on the ship, people can vote against you, and you'll spend some times in the brig, in the brig, in the prison, in the ship's prison, and that kept happening all the time. So I could never play. The very few times I got to play, and I got to do some sword things, either people were never playing with me, or were just always escaping other places. I couldn't really figure out what the game was about, and then I would get again into the prison very super quickly, and I could not, for the love of God, experience like a straight half an hour of this game. I played it for a couple of weeks, and I did like solid 10 minutes of gameplay. But I saw a lot of people, a lot of streamers playing it and having fun at the moment. So I was like, okay, either somebody to play with, or this game, it's not gonna be my choice.
Yeah, it seems to be a game that is probably best suited for gangs, for like clans, existing clans that want to be pirates,
or existing friends.
Existing friends.
And I completely uninstalled it and just cursed me and Microsoft for giving me this opportunity. But like the game then got on and got way better.
Of course.
I think they fixed so many things. Now it's it was a very finished game a couple of years after it came out. So
cool.
Was fine, but not my cup of tea.
Cool. That was a Sea of Thieves, guys. Really interesting. And to this day, I mean, I think the game is a bit intended like a bit of an existing ongoing platform, and I still see a lot of people streaming it and a lot of people playing it, so it's very much alive, even though, as you said, the scores at the beginning were kind of on the lower side. I think it probably managed to obtain a certain engagement with people, which is cool.
I think it was a little bit too hyped also. Like, people really expected an amazing adventure online multiplayer video game.
Possibly.
It was a silly, fine, cute game, which could lead to a lot of fun, sure, but
yeah,
it was Mass Effect or
cool.
World of Warcraft.
Moving on the 21st of March, there was Valkyria Chronicles 4. Valkyria Chronicles is the Valkyria Chronicles that came out on PlayStation 3. I think that was called Valkyria Chronicles 3. That's right. Am I right? Yeah, I think so. And that one was one of my favorite PS3 titles. It's still available on PC. There is a remastered version that is now available on all platform possible, and you guys should check it out. Valkyria Chronicles came out. I did not have the chance to play it yet, but I promise that I will, and in fact I should really play it soon, seeing that it came out 2 years ago. And Valkyria Chronicles is a tactic RPG with a very unique artistic style. It's really pretty. It's scored okay. Some people say it's not as good as the previous, etc., but it's still scored very well. One thing that I was really happy for was that they decided to make the game, because I was really scared that they would just drop it. And instead, Sega decided to keep the franchise alive. And if you go on GameFAQs, quite a few people have it. They scored very high, and the game is pretty long with an average score of 70 hours of gameplay. So really, if you want to try something different, if you want to try something that will surprise you, especially if you are a console player and you never flirt with tactics games and strategy games, this is the best you can have. This is the best strategy experience you can find that is okay to play with a controller. Trust me on that. Do you guys ever play this?
Never.
No.
Okay. I'll leave it there on your doorsteps and you guys check it out. A Way Out came out just 2 days after that, together with Detective Pikachu and Ni no Kuni. I cannot tell you much about Detective Pikachu, which is a 3DS low game, but I can tell you some things about A Way Out and Ni no Kuni 2. I played the first Ni no Kuni, and I found it to be a good JRPG for people that don't play JRPG. You know what I mean? So it's a good JRPG if you never played a JRPG and you wonder, oh, what's a JRPG like? It's a JRPG for casuals, so to speak. And even the sequel, as you can see, it can be completed in like 25 hours, 30 hours. So it's not like a massive long JRPG. It's a bit different from the previous one, and talks about a different character. So, and it's available on many platforms. So it's still worth a try if you do not play JRPGs and you want to try a JRPG. Maybe this one will do for you because it's still incredibly pretty when it comes to presentation. I mean, just the visual style is really, really something. And just like the predecessor, it's a game that has been hand-drawn by the skillful people of Studio Ghibli, the animation studio. So it's really something pretty.
What if you play JRPG?
If
Would
you
you still
do
recommend?
play JRPGs, I think that this time and age you have a lot of better options.
Okay.
Yes, realistically you can catch Dragon Quest.
That's mean.
You can play even Final Fantasy VII Remake that is behind the door. You know, there's a lot of other stuff, and if it's still, even if you don't want to go for the main stuff, for the mainstream games, you can still play Tales of Cold Steel, which is a nice JRPG saga that has been really they came out with a lot of new titles on the PS4, so there's a lot of other JRPGs you can play, because this one, just like the first game, is slightly childish. So yeah,
You know that I don't like JRPGs.
you would like this.
I tried this. I played this.
Really?
I have on record. Let me see where it is.
I had no idea.
So how much can I surprise you sometimes?
You totally did. So how much?
2. Oh, here it is. I have played. I bought it. I still own it, and I played it 4 hours.
Oh wow!
Before asking for a fund that I was denied, and then I pretend that I never spent money on it.
Really?
Because I.
So you bought Ni no Kuni?
It's not a bad game. No, actually, I really wanted the first one, but when it came out, it was only on PS4.
PS3.
Right? PS3, sorry. And I didn't have a PS3 at it. I mean, I think I didn't had it, or probably my PS3 was just dying, as it is now. So I never played it. And I saw the second one. I was like, oh, this is my opportunity. People are saying it's not connected to the first one. And I tried it, and it was very nice. It was very fun, and it was very enjoyable at the very beginning. But then it became very JRPG, so everyone started talking. They started talking about their feelings. All this.
You don't like that.
Oh, shut up! Let me kill stuff, and it's not it's not my cup of tea. I don't like beautiful games. I guess I'm sorry.
I mean, it is a pretty game, but I do understand that perhaps JRPGs are not your thing, and yet this one could potentially something that some people that are new to JRPG will find a reason to like, and the reason to like is this beautiful illustration. If you are a fan of animation and you never played of a JRPG, this is your middle step. It's like you're watching an anime, you're watching a Studio Ghibli game, but you're also understanding what JRPGs are like. So it's an halfway step for people that mingle in the anime scene and they want to have a first time with a JRPG game. In fact, this is almost a game for non-gamers, I think, Ni no Kuni. Paolo, did you play any of these two games?
No, none. Nothing at all. I don't know the saga.
Cool. That's I have this impression that the third chapter
it's too easy for Prosil. Way too easy.
It really was very easy. The first game was a bit too easy. I finished the game and I was like, I really, when a game, especially when a JRPG is not easy, is too easy, you don't have a sense of progression. Like, I know that JRPGs sometimes exaggerate with the grinding, but if there is no grinding at all, then you feel there is no progression. And yeah, in the first Ni no Kuni, you see your level go up, but you don't really feel that the game is making you more powerful. Anyway, we're gonna leave it at that for Ni no Kuni, which scored mildly
Beautiful.
with this many games, and everybody said pretty much it was easy. And the other game that came out is around this date was A Way Out, which is, if I'm not wrong, initially was an Xbox One exclusive.
Oh, really?
Yes, I think it was initially an Xbox
Huh.
One exclusive, if I'm not wrong. But I might be completely wrong. Anyway, this is a particular game because it is a game with no single player. And I'm not saying it's multiplayer. This is a co-op only game.
Yeah.
And I thought that was incredible because it was incredibly courageous of people for the developers to make the game like this, quite particular. So
So
it's you literally, if you want to play the game, you need two people to play it in co-op or in multiplayer. And the fun thing that they did was that you don't have both people to own the game.
Yeah. Only one.
I think it was super cool that as long as one of the two
Amazing.
owns the game, the other person can sort of stream or get the game for free, and they can both play and experience the story of this game, which is a sort of an action. I'm not sure, not really action, but sort of telltale. And but they can play together with a single purchase as a co-op experience. They really sort of can enjoy the experience as a unit, as a duo, as a duet. And this is the game. It's really, really something particular, and it narrates the story of these two guys, these two people that will play together and will play to their strengths of both of them to escape from a prison. Such a cool story.
Yeah. Did you know that the same company that did this game did another game previously, which was called Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons? You know
I
that?
did play a
And
bit of that, and it was incredible.
You played it?
Yes.
You had to play with both the sticks of the joypad, and every stick like moved one of the two brothers in the screen. I think these guys really are unique at making video games, which we lack uniqueness in video games. As you were saying so many times earlier, like games haven't that much changed this decades. This is pretty interesting.
Yeah. The guy that made the game is actually a pretty funny character. I remember he was in an award and they started losing his mind and they start saying
this guy.
yes, and he starts saying fuck the Oscar, video games are the best, and he starts losing it. It's a really funny cool segment that you can find on YouTube.
Doesn't he look like one of the protagonists
and
too?
it does look a bit like one of the protagonists. So he gets on stage, he takes the mic, it gets the camera's attention, and he starts blabbing about how video games are amazing and how he's. And I think this is great PR, but I think he's also genuine when he said that. You can tell that the guy is trying to create something unique. And
he's really happy with what he's doing.
All the crazy the developers out there, the publisher that picked this up was Electronic Arts. So everybody was a bit scared at the beginning that this was gonna end bad, but no.
With microtransaction, unlock the second brother.
Player. But anyway, the game also received a lot of nomination, a couple of victories for the original action, for Best Game Direction nominated, Favorite Multiplayer Experience nominee, British Academy Awards for Best Multiplayer, which is not a small victory, and a lot of nominations for the writing as well. Camera direction, which we can already appreciate from the trailer. As you can see, the game is actually split like this during the gameplay, and so it's really a particular title. I should really go back and play it, but I'm gonna need one of you two to play with me on PS4 one of these days to get this down. But it seems interesting. It seems basically like a co-op Heavy Rain or a co-op game from Insomniac. Quantic Dreams.
Quantic Dreams.
Yeah. Cool.
Which is good. Like, it's nice.
Yeah, those games are nice. I'm gonna leave it at that. We're gonna move forward to the last game, the last big game of this month of March 2018. The game I'm talking about is Far Cry 5. I have not played the game, and by the way, other than this game, there's a lot of stuff, but it's mostly little games, a lot of Japanese stuff that nobody played, and whatever, and the sports games and little things. So let's finish it up
Sports.
with Far Cry 5. Far Cry 5, which has been reviewed a lot, scored mildly, and with a length of about 40 hours according to GameFAQs. And oh, there was this little article that I skipped, but it's not important. Going back to Far Cry 5, did you guys play Far Cry 5 or the previous ones at all? I mean, obviously, I know that Prosil remembers fondly the second Far Cry, but I think that Far Cry 3, 4, and 5 are sort of the same thing. Let's face it, this 3 game, Far Cry 3, 4, and 5, seems to be a reskin.
I don't agree. So I will start from the thing about Far Cry. The second one, it's a lot about the story, and I think it was one of the first games I played on PS3, and it was kind of very big new game because like it's first open world game where you have a story that you find and reads about, and it was one of the first one created. So I still remember the ending. There is a twist in the ending that is quite nice. And the game, I think, it's totally different from the third one. Third one and fourth, they are a skin of the same, but not of the second one. I think that there are different things in the third one, and the third one is my favorite because it's never ending. Like you finish this game, then you have this flying suit that allow you to fly as well. I think the third one really kicks asses. The fourth one is more about the graphic. I think with the fifth one, I think they lost themselves because from what I've read, it doesn't have anything, and they made a spin-off now. So I think it's one of those saga like Assassin's Creed that Ubisoft has lost. Like they did milk the cow too much.
Yeah, like Assassin's Creed then.
Yeah, they start
Assassin's Creed. They are milking the brand, but they're not even milking the game anymore. It's like, if you want to keep the brand, you just need to create the fucking story.
It deludes too much into like too many games, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a phase, this one, that where I really believe the sequel will no longer exist. Because it's like Last of Us. Looks how long it's taking to do the second one, and there is hype. But a Resident Evil has been fucked up. A Game of Thrones season has been fucked up. Everything that is taken for too long when the game has nothing to say just disappoints the brand. So
yeah, but
milking...
money speaks, because The Last of Us 2 isn't gonna sell as much as Assassin's Creed 3, 3.5, 4, 4.1, 4.2. So like we aren't helping the industry
now. But then when people start to metabolize this concept, if I can allow this term, people will start to understand, hey, this game is a sequel, it's crap. Because nowadays we have the mentality where the sequel is cool, let's buy an Assassin's Creed, let's buy which one was the third Ezio one that was really crap, Assassin's Creed the one in Turkey, I don't remember, but the third one they made. I mean, let's buy this, and then you play it, and it is crap. I really believe that people are fed up with this because it's been almost 10 years.
I think now, yes.
Yeah. I mean,
that was an era.
Yeah. I mean, look at how many games they released. In terms of how many games they released in just 10 years. So in about 10 years, let's say 11 years at a stretch. In 11 years, they released, if you think about from 2012 to 2019 is only 7 years, and they released 6 games. So you see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
In 7 years, you release 6 games. You create fatigue in the market that is playing the same thing over and over. And also you cannot diversify whatever you're putting in the game. And so when Far Cry 5 came out, I was like, yeah, nice. I really enjoyed the third one. But it felt already like, damn, it's gonna be a reskin. They cannot have made another meaningfully different game from what was Far Cry 4, which wasn't meaningfully different from Far Cry 3. So I was like, it's gonna be the same formula. Some guy stranded, put there, lot of weapons, collect, kill animal, skin the animal, shoot from distance, shoot from close, sneak, and then survive the crazy guy. Because there's always a crazy guy that is over the edge, and they try to make that memorable. I mean, successfully even, but still kind of same formula. And that's my take with Far Cry. But having said all this, I think that Far Cry 3 was really nice. And perhaps it didn't have the mechanics and the sense of danger of Far Cry 2, but I still think it was cool. Far Cry, when I'm playing these days Metal Gear Solid 5 at last, I'm playing it sometimes as if it was a Far Cry 3 game, where you approach it, where you do a recog of the area. You start using your binocular to tag the enemy. You could do the same in Far Cry 3. You just use the binocular. As you observe the enemy soldiers, you tag them. So you map all the surroundings. You map all the enemy, etc., etc., etc. And then you get into the penetration, so to speak. So the infiltration part.
You know what's a better Far Cry and Metal Gear Solid 5 combined? What is better than those two? Breath of the Wild.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
I have not played that.
That's it. I said it. That's it. I need to add nothing else. That's how you make a game.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. No, it's all fair and good. And anyway, the big shell of March 2018 was probably Far Cry 5, which again kind of felt a bit off. All in all, this March didn't really see a big game at all. Really, there was no game. As if for our previous episode, there wasn't much. But our future episodes are going to be really interesting. We're going to wrap up this episode just very quickly. We're not even going to do a separate segment. We're going straight into a couple of news that I've collected for you. One was the release in March 2018 of the Commodore 64 Mini, which was this mini version of the Commodore 64 that happens to have an HDMI port and a bunch of game pre-installed, as the typical nostalgia market operation that used to be done a couple of years ago. And they've done it for the Commodore 64, releasing the Commodore 64 Mini, which is this piece which has a keyboard that doesn't work. It's fake.
What?
It's fake, guys. It's so offensive. People complained, so much so that after some time they had to release the Commodore 64. So another version of this, a bit bigger, with functioning keyboard, and that you can, and where you can actually install your games, run your software, and it can also can also emulate VIC-20, which is another machine fairly similar. But there you go. I wanted to put the news out there for everybody to remind for everybody to remember of this little hiccup in marketing, but also for you guys to appreciate some of the screenshots. Look at these games, man.
That's what gaming used to be.
This is how I grew up, playing games.
I wasn't even born.
8 colors. Look at this game. It's gorgeous. Look at this mountain scene. All in 8 to 16 colors at the most. Look at this. Glorious. The fact that you could program a meter here for the speed and the gas, it's incredible.
You know why there was that much black bars at the top and at the border?
Because otherwise the sprite would have been too big, I suppose.
And the frame rate would have been just unplayable.
Yeah. But still, I'm talking about the graphics, but I'm not kidding, because look at the graphics of these games. These games, they looked really nice. There was particularly one that blew my mind. This is not bad, but this one, it's such an elaborate and yet clear scene that is all rendered with something like 8 colors. There's literally black and white, purple, other purple, blue, green, and sort of red.
What game is it? It's beautiful.
Impossible Mission 2.
Do not be confused
With
with Mission
Impossible. Exactly.
Impossible.
This is Impossible Mission 2. You know,
Complete
when
different
you
thing.
wanted to make a game but you didn't have full license, then you would just come up with these things. What can you do? And yeah, so that's my
Evil Residence.
that's my evil, something like that. So that was my little homage to
Third
Commodore
bio.
64.
Sorry.
And another little homage goes out to Granger Games, which was a chain in the UK that closed up 2 years ago. Sorry. And I picked this news because the whole coronavirus thing made me think about
I was about to say it.
made me think about the future of retails. I mean, Granger Games closed 2 years ago, but with the corona quarantine and lockdowns internationally, realistically, what future is there for retailers? I don't think they will survive this.
Yeah. There wasn't a future to begin with.
Yeah.
I don't know now.
Yeah.
Have you read about games and the fact that a lot of people that did buy, at least in Italy, the games on release, not games, sorry, GameStop, their games on release dates like Doom, they won't be able to pick up and collect the game in the shop.
Yes, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible piece of news. People from getting the game from retail to support the the physical games, and then this happens, and those poor souls, they pre-order the game. You should never pre-order a game, people. You should never pre-order a game. That will teach you well. And
no,
and this
I don't
happens,
buy
and
it.
now
let's not
they
give
have
the wrong message. No, let's not give it, because they may think I think games should be pre-order, because that moves the industry as well.
If you really want to support the company.
I personally do that, in fact, but for special releases like limited editions and stuff.
Yeah, but it's also that this pins the industry, right? But the problem is that very often there is a lack of respect towards people that pre-order the game. I think that if you pre-order the game, you should have a discount because you taking a risk.
Mhm.
It should be different.
Yeah.
If you buy the game afterwards, fuck, everybody already tested, the patch is ready, you pay the price that is retail price.
Oh no, I do agree.
Yeah, I think a lot of things are changing because luckily the gaming industry is an industry where feedback is very hard. Look at Fallout 76 and how much did hit hard, and all the limited editions that have been reprinted because of the fake bag issue. I don't know if you follow that, but there is a lot going on. If you ask me about these stores, the future of these stores, it's either retro gaming, or it's a combo between role-playing games, live role-playing games, and video games. Video games renter, I think, is a possibility. Video game. I think they will have to diversify their product, but the video game retailer as a standalone, it's not gonna stand.
Yeah. There's definitely need for change, and recently Game, the chain, has acquired a new board advisor, which is Reggie Fils-Aimé.
Oh yeah,
the Nintendo former CEO, Nintendo of America's former CEO, that recently retired and is now joining the board of directors of Game. I don't think he has any executive powers.
no, like a
It's
consultant.
just a sort of like a head in a table. It's not gonna be able to call some drastic shot to change the situation, but maybe he'll be able to advise them on what.
Which is weird because he wanted to retire so badly and not stay in Nintendo. Like,
well, it's true, he quit, but I mean,
he
it
quit
was
because
time for him
I'm
to
old, I
retire.
need to retire. But yeah, now he goes GameStop.
Well, I don't think he's breaking his back, really working a
No,
lot.
no,
I
no.
don't think he's doing.
It's taking money. It also is a very PR move
He's
anyway.
a personality and an influencer. That's his role at this point. And speaking of Nintendo, the last little piece of news is that Nintendo revealed the top best-selling games indie games that were selling the most on Switch. There was SteamWorld Dig, Stardew Valley, of course. There was what was there? Shovel Knight, which of course everybody's talking about, and Golf Story, which is some sort of golf with an element of story. Enter the Gungeon, the usual indie games which made it big elsewhere, were really selling a lot on Nintendo Switch. And that pretty much wraps it up, but we have one last piece of news. Do you guys remember Hitman? You would think Hitman is such a big game. They released Hitman Absolution, Hitman Season. Well, all those games, they did not sell as much as Hitman Sniper. That came out that surpassed 10 million players. Hitman Sniper is the mobile version of Hitman Sniper Challenge, which was a mini game that came out when they were when Hitman Absolution came out. Hitman Sniper Challenge came out as some sort of little complimentary game. And and it's a bit sad to think that Hitman, they made all these games, but their most successful title is actually this mobile game. I think you guys have played this.
Somebody would say this is a big hit, man.
This is a big hit, man. Pretty good.
Sorry, I was dying without saying this. Prosil has played it way more than I did, so I'm gonna leave Prosil to speak about it.
Would not be able to come up with a better joke. So the talent is on you.
I've been lucky because I've been contributing to the localization of this game.
Oh.
So I worked kind of on it. I think the game it's very it's very weird because it's a game where you are stuck and you just move your sniper rifle and you're aiming to people, but the sequence and the level design of the single level that you play is so well done that you can make it in so many different ways and unlocking the records of the score that you do. It's simply like something very, very peculiar. And the point system belongs to a very Hitman structured game that is Hitman Absolution, that I don't think was never ever repeated towards other games. If you look online, there are people. I mean, I've been breaking the game, and I think I did about 3 million points. But online, there are people doing like ridiculous like scores.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the game.
It's a huge Prosil video game. Which,
like, you wouldn't believe how you can break the game. Like, you can do so many things. And the trick is, you need to unlock you need to hide the bodies. So there is a sequence where
how?
So
basically,
so you basically shoot and you let them fall in a position
that
they're not discovered.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah. Sometimes you shoot and they hear the shot and they move towards the zone where. So you sometimes if you know already how they move. Is about 17 people. You start shooting like wasting arrows here and there, and there as soon as they start moving, and by the time they finish the walk, you can shoot them, and then you need to design the order. So it's very, very interesting, like the way you do the multiply. You see like 12 headshot plus stealth, and then if you hide the body, you get more points, and if you get 2 people on the same shot, you get you get more points. You see, they open the elevator.
That was nice. I get that. Kind of explains the whole thing. It explains the whole mechanic of the game. So you shoot at the fuse box that opens the doors. As the guy goes in, you knock him dead into the elevator shaft. Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, it's only 99 cents right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's on PS4.
It's on mobile.
It's a mobile. Yeah.
Not on mobile. Okay.
So
but
anyway, that's
this
cool.
is a game like definitely that is worth playing, and I definitely recommend the Absolution one.
And the story is that Hitman 47 got crazy and started shooting people from a rooftop, right?
No, the story actually is completely standalone.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's something that you should play.
Cool.
But this one is a separate level, I think.
Well, this is
the
the Android version, so I cannot tell you This is the Android mobile version, but it's still the same game mechanic. But this is the Android version, yeah. What we're looking at on our YouTube videos.
Which I just bought.
Wow. iOS and Android.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah. Okay guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. This has been another long episode, but I hope it has helped you. I hope we have kept you company, guys. And I'm gonna let our Prosil and our HeadacheMik, our two valiant guests, talk a little bit about themselves, where you can find them, and anything else they want to say, they can say it now, or stay silent for the next 2 weeks. We're gonna be meeting again in 2 weeks to look at the games from April 2018. I give the microphone to Prosil.
So you can find me at Prosil, twitch.tv at Prosil You Play Too Much.
Cool.
As you may already see from the profile, I'm a kind of hardcore gamer. I tried to get platinums, but yeah. I try to play games on the first run as hard. That doesn't necessarily mean that I enjoy the games. Try to play Souls-like games. You can see I'm playing Neo at the moment. Yeah. I've got the objective to reach 100 platinums by the end of 2020 or 2021. I said, I don't remember anymore, but if I keep like that, I may make it by 2020. So
cool.
That's it.
Cool. Mick, what can you tell us, and where can people find you?
People can find me on twitch.tv/HeadacheMik, not milk, which sometimes gets confused with. And they can find me live 3 times a week, Tuesday, Friday, Sunday. And what do I play? I mean, I play a lot of video games. PS1, PS2, Resident Evil. Again, sorry, I just fell back on it. And I dance. You're seeing that. Like, sometimes I dance and I do push-up, apparently. When did it happen? I don't know. I forgot about it. And I'm a very good fan of the just chatting category, just chatting and chilling with my chat, and it's really enjoyable. And I cook sometimes too, so why don't you check me out?
Yeah, you should all do so. Check out HeadacheMik on Twitch/HeadacheMik, and you can find myself also on Twitch, on Twitter, and on Facebook, and on Apple Podcast, and on Spotify, and surely on YouTube with the Game Too Late handle. I'm gonna wrap up this episode and thank once more my 2 amazing guests. I wish you all to stay safe, to wash your hands religiously at any given moment of the day, and to take everything that's gonna happen in the next few days and weeks very, very seriously, and as a matter of life and death. And I stay calm nonetheless, and play games, and enjoy the ride.
Play games at home.
Yeah, play games at home, and we are in this together for the long run. And we're gonna come out of this stronger. Take it easy, guys, and good night.
Good night.
Oh.
Good night, guys.
Bye bye.